out, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rapper slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norm of that agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though. That mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me. A doctor save me, a Dr. Inky. I cop the copper jewels all blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor y'all claim woke, but you in bed. You won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's Taharka Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scoping the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school. That shit through. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask Divine or Zion Lack. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Stone Jetty. A Ujahu, a Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a madjai orchard, you a sad guy talking. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. What up? Trying to get it started on an early one. I want to watch this video they got for us. Somebody recommended it yesterday, and we didn't get to it. So we're going to watch it today. Let me play a few blappers. Get the show started right.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare for your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed growing in your window. So when you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat, crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis, and bury it, the jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie and an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this.
Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life, hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this, don't blink, it's There's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees, and still be hotep and ask to rig Nasheed. 6 in the morning I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not diametrically opposed to anybody. I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Fishing. Who knows how to fish?
Black people,
hands down. Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
Sister Amina sound good on that.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
That's cool. I don't want to rush into it, so I'm going to let them get some notifications out, let some people roll in. And we're going to get it. I ain't seen this video, and I wonder, did somebody ask my opinion on it? Check it out. And so we all viewing this for the first time together. Let's see if they start popping enough pseudo that I know is wrong, I'm gonna just stop the video. But if they cooking, then we gonna see.
The amazing essayist to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Just let me put this microphone on so that Aman can hear me as well. You guys can hear me as well, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming to this event. And Mary, I want to thank you for making this great introduction. You did a great job. I think she did a great job, right? Yeah. Didn't she? I mean, she said it's her first presentation. I mean, yeah, like as you might know, of course, my name is Isaias. I basically grew up in Cologne. I've lived in London, in Toronto, and Berlin for many years, and I've been a movie maker, a creative entrepreneur, and a designer for many years. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, just to show my dedication for design. You know, I've noticed, of course, that some of you know me. Like, of course, some of you are relatives of mine, and some of you don't know me. It leaves room for imagination. I was wondering, when you came today, of course, what brought you to this evening? Was it like curiosity? Was it the search for identity? Or was it just the search for the truth? I mean, somebody told me, Daniel's sister, that truth is important and that we should seek for it. And I was wondering, what is your motivation today? And I could imagine it's one of them. I'm a speaker. I've been speaking on different conferences, including TED conference and at the University of Applied Science in Cologne. Have given lectures in my life many times. So I have, long time experience in giving lectures. And for me, this topic today is about one of the greatest revelations of the ancient Egyptian mysteries. That's what I call it sometimes, because it's a story that has a lot to do with us Africans, but also with the whole world. I mean, you guys know in the British Museum, the greatest, most impressive section is the Egyptian section. So I'm going to show you most of the mysteries that is connected to our culture. So this speech, as I mentioned before, is about the truth, which existed before formal science. I'm going to challenge science a little bit today, because it was science that did not tell us the truth. I mean, science is a great field when it comes to biology, medicine, technology, etc. But in terms of Egyptology, or in the realm of Egyptology, is a very weak area, and that's what I want to, challenge today. Truth existed from the very beginning of creation, so nobody founded truth, it's simply there, right? Whereby science was created by humans. It was someone called Aristotle that I'm going to talk about who founded science as we know it today. So this is my favorite quote of all time. Do you guys have a favorite quote of all time as well? Like a quote that you refer to because you love it?
All right, he's starting to lose me already.
Yeah? You got one? Don't be intimidated. Just feel free to speak out loud whenever you feel like. So love is what makes up the universe. Because when one has love, all possibilities exist. Which means if you have...
That made me press pause. I ain't even gonna go in, but hold on, bro.
Have love for everything, you will find possibilities in all things. And if you don't love everything, certain doors will be shut down for you. Now, a guy was asking me today, like, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it was the love for my people and my roots, which has led me to this topic, right? Where I'm coming from. As my uncle may know, of course, all of...
So just for the record, his claims to ancient Egypt are being made from the Ethiopia. Well, he say it links back to Ethiopia and Eritrea. Is this, I want to ask some of the people, is this a black claim? Is that a claim that ancient Egyptians was black that he making?
Our male ancestors used to be priests. Our generation has a list of priesthoods that goes for 69 generations. So this priesthood heritage has led our family members to peacefully and openly debate about absolute truth. We always try to get to the core of the things, And I grew up, as you can imagine, by two proud Eritrean parents who were very confident and very proud to be Eritreans. And I was always wondering where that came from because, they're proud. Sometimes I feel like they're proud without any reason, but maybe it's connected to the story that I'm going to tell you today. And I would like a little bit to talk about my parents because you know it from my parents, especially the mothers, they're very lovely. My mother was a very caring person. She helped people in difficult situations. And my father was a questioning person, like Mary said. He used to ask many questions, especially why questions. He would ask every time, like, why is it like this and like that? And, trying to get to the core of the things. I might have that from him. So I grew up in Addis, even though my parents are Eritreans, I grew up in Addis, and I was not allowed to speak Amharic at home because my parents were proud Eritreans, so if I spoke Amharic at home, I would get into troubles with them. That was the game of that time. So I was only allowed to speak Tigrinya, of course. This is how I kept my Tigrinya skills. So I came to Germany with the age of 10 when there was the war between Ethiopia and Eritrea, this ridiculous, useless war. And I fled to Germany with my brother and was taken in by a German foster mother who raised me up lovingly and gave me everything I needed. I mean, she's one of the greatest German person that I've met, and she happened to be my foster mother. I want to get to the
knowledge, though. I ain't trying to disrespect his presentation. I definitely want to hear all this stuff, but I don't want to be putting all that content on my channel. We're just here to get to the knowledge parts. So shout out to him for making this presentation, and let's try to get talking about it.
Most of the stuff from the African ancient Egyptians. So what happened was, this is very important for you guys to understand, is that Plato was the teacher of Aristotle, and Aristotle is the founder of formal science. He wrote many books in which he outlines science. I will talk about that briefly. But Plato got his knowledge from ancient Egypt. And this is one of his knowledge. So he said something like to Aristotle in the Academy of Athens. I don't know if you guys know this first university in Europe that was called the Academy of Athens. I don't know if you know that. No? And he taught him this knowledge. So he said to him, "We are born with all knowledge. The soul once lived in reality, but became trapped in the body. It once knew everything, but has forgotten it. The goal of recollection is to return to true knowledge. To achieve this, one has to overcome the body. This means that nothing is learned, it is merely recalled or remembered." So what Plato is saying in short is that whatever we learn is not something that we learn from the first time, it's something that we knew before as a soul. So he believed in, if you want, the eternity of the soul, basically. And he got this knowledge from the ancient Egyptians, because they, of course, believed this too. So Aristotle rejected this advanced knowledge, which came from Egypt, and he said to Plato that this knowledge is basically rubbish. So the foundation of European science is coming from a rejection of ancient Egyptian knowledge. Do you get that? Okay. So this is how formal science came into being, as a rejection of advanced ancient Egyptian knowledge. I have to tell you that, because you would not understand why Egyptologists are acting so weird, even though the evidence speaks for itself, right? So Aristotle rejected the knowledge that Plato taught him by saying, what you're saying is completely nonsense. What truly exists is what we can sense with our five senses, and everything else does not exist. So if you imagine that the universe is so big and we got five senses, and if everything that we cannot perceive does not exist, that means 99% of the universe does not exist, right?
All right, I'm on my fast forward.
I mean, this is a very boring worldview to say that
Not like
only
that.
the senses define what reality is, right? And I was wondering, what about our dreams? Do you guys dream?
Oh, man.
Of course you dream, right? But you don't perceive it with our five senses, right? It happens in your mind. It's like a film, like a movie.
All right, here we
The
go.
pictures, Medunitter, which is dead,
All right, here we go. Finally.
disappeared. Where did they go?
All right,
Did they
here-
go underground?
Here we go.
Destroy what Egyptologists and peace, unfortunately, scientists have built and put something high on top of it. Are you ready? Yes. Let's go.
Man, we ready, man. We've been waiting, family.
Okay. This is what Egyptologists say, right? Egyptologists say the ancient Egyptians have disappeared. Where did they go? Did they go underground? Were they picked up by some aliens?
Let's stop. Do y'all agree with that? Do Egyptologists say that ancient Egyptians disappeared? I heard that before, but let's see.
Who knows? And then they say their language is dead. I mean, they say their language is dead, but they call their language Medunitter. I mean, Medunitter sounds a little bit weird, but it's Tigrinya. I will explain to you what it means later. And they say, I mean, this slide is very harmful for me. When I look at it, I feel like crying, because you can tell, obviously, that's not true. In this picture, I mean, on my computer, it looks even worse, the comparison. This is the original statue of king they call Tutankhamun, and this is a scientific display, reconstruction. So I want to say this out loud. I mean, like, European people, they've been lied to, you know? They've been lied about our history in a way that our people have been depicted in a white way, even though they were black, and that always irritated me. I was always like, why do they depict people in a different way, even though the Egyptians depicted themselves in brown or black sometimes. Anyways, they say that the dark ink that the ancient Egyptians used was a style. So it was like,
Yeah, they do
because
say
they
that.
didn't have any other
Shout out to Sister Denisha, arrows up. Hey, now they do say this. Let's get his opinion on this.
ink, they say. And then I wondered, the women were, painted in yellow, so they would have other ink as well because, it's colorful, all of it. And the noses were always broken, so I was always wondering why the noses are broken. We got these pretty noses, but they don't have any noses. It could be superstitious reasons or any other reasons. And what about the hieroglyphs? I mean, you guys have handouts where the hieroglyphs are being displayed. And I have to give them credit. I have to give science credit for decoding the hieroglyphs. Have you guys been to the British Museum here in London? Yeah? So, in the British Museum, when you walk through the door, you see the Rosetta Stone at the entrance. And on that Rosetta Stone, there's a text that is written in the ancient Egyptian language and in Greek language. And the names Cleopatra and Ptolemy are being written there as well. So they could, because names are not being translated in different languages, they could see the similarities between the Greek and the hieroglyphs and match the hieroglyphs. So it was Jean-François Champignon who succeeded in decoding the hieroglyphs for the first time. So what this brave European did was he took the 700 hieroglyphs and matched them to 21 to 24 Greek alphabet. So he limited them, because if you have 700 hieroglyphs and you match them to 21 symbols, you will reduce the amount of pronunciation. And this young man, Sir E.A. Wallace Budge, is the godfather of Egyptology. I don't know if you guys know him. Somebody told me that she knows him. Can you
Hard to
raise
make
it?
that claim.
This one?
Yeah, but he got it actually right, everything.
Yeah, most of it, not everything. But Sir E.A. Wallace Budge was knighted by the Queen for his lifetime achievement. He worked in the British Museum, and he's more or less the godfather of Egyptology. So what he did was he compared the language of the ancient Egyptians to Persian, he compared it to Hebrew, he compared it to Syrian, and he compared it to Arabic, and interestingly, to Amharic. I mean, you could not expect that, right? But because I think Ethiopia is a big country and everybody knows that they speak Amharic, obviously he would look into that and say they are Semitic, and he was specialized in this field. So he found 5 words maybe that match with ancient Egyptian language to Amharic. Yes. So if Sir E.A. Wallace Budge would live today, he would ask himself what the hell is Tigrinya? Because in those days, Tigrinya was maybe not that popular like Amharic. So Budge and his colleagues, they found the word Babi in hieroglyphs. Could you guys guess
Hold on,
which
man,
Tigrinya
hold on.
word is behind Babi?
Oh, hold on. I tried to pause it. Damn.
Kachava Super Blend.
That's when I be messing up. Cause he once if he make another error like
Please
this, I'm gonna
help
have to
me
fall
welcome
back.
the
Let me
amazing
see.
essayist to the stage.
I'm gonna fall right here.
Babi,
Let's go back. He messing this all up
maybe
right
not
here.
that popular like Amharic. So
Right here.
Budge and his colleagues, they found the word Babi in hieroglyphs.
I mean,
Could
you
you
know, I
guys
can't say
guess
it like
which
that,
Tigrinya
but look.
word is behind Babi? Father? Okay, let's give it a try. So Babi is declared by the Egyptologists as the eldest son of Osiris. It's just a random meaning, right?
All right, yeah, this gonna go crazy right here, but let's go in.
So if you separate B from Abi, you have a Tigrinya word, which
Oh yeah, he messing this up.
is Ba'abi. Exactly. Ba'abi. With something big. Ba'abi.
Oh man, what that got to do with son of Osiris? So Osiris is something big, huh?
Falit Nayo. So what?
Well, let's just go back to that first era. He parsed something that you can't parse. He separated something that you can't separate. He said that the phonetic complement. See, this is how MetaNet will trick you right here. This is why you really got to know it. You can't skim through a book. Now, if we look at the reading here, it does say Bobby, right? But it don't say it the way he thought it said it. He tried to basically, he thought that each one of these symbols, besides the two reed leaves at the end, was equal to a Latin glyph. That's a mistake. The first word, so this word Bobby is rooted on a word for ba. This right here is not an A bird, vulture. Y'all see? This ain't a vulture. This is, I don't want to say this the ba bird. This is the bak bird. And this is where we're getting the ba from in this bird. Because if I say it's the ba bird, you might think it's the other bird for ba. Some people could be confused if you don't know the glyphs. Now, I'm going to look that up to show y'all what I mean right here. I'm going to put Bobby, B-A-B-I-R-Y, right? Oh, that's saying baby. So I need to try it. Ain't no way to do it in here. All right, so let me show you something. Bach. I'm gonna put Bach, right? And then we should be able to see it. See this bar right here? Let me make it bigger. See that Bach? Watch you see the same bird over here. Wow. See it? So now when we reading the glyphs, we know that this says Remech Baku, Remech Baku. This is people that do work. Baku is work. So you see how he messing that up? Because that this bird ain't, I don't think this bird, somebody can help me out with the Bach bird. Is it a biliteral or triliteral? The question I'm asking is, does it represent just the BA sound or the BAK sound when by itself? We'll get to the bottom of that by looking. See, here's another Bach bird, but now a lot of us will mess this up because it looks like Heru, Horus. See, right next to Horus. But again, that's not the one we're looking for. See this Ba bird and the K behind it? This is the K behind it. That's how we know this is giving us Ba. But this K could be a phonetic complement if this was a triliteral. Let's keep going. Yeah, he probably was using budge. You see, this bird is at the end of all of these Bach words, right? But I'm trying to find it with just a Ba and not the Bach. Someone can tell me if they know if that's a triliteral. Or would it pop up with just the BA? We're going to search just BA. Well, there it just popped up. So that killed that. See it say per ba? Look, per ba. Yep. So it's a biliteral. It represents the B and the A, right? So when we come back to his slide, he thinks that you could separate the B out of this to make some false cognate. You can't separate the B out of this, as he proposed we do, because this glyph that he thinks represents an A actually represents a B and an A. Let's look.
Declared by the Egyptologists as the eldest son of Osiris. It's just a random meaning, right? So if you separate B from Abi, you have a Tigrinya word, which is Ba'abi. Exactly. Ba'abi. With something big. Ba'abi.
Yeah, we can't go Ba'abi. That's you just made that up.
Falit Nayo.
I guess
So
we gotta demonetize
what is
this
interesting
video.
is Egyptologists can read the hieroglyphs 70% correctly, but they don't understand 99.99% wrong. They don't understand it at all. So by not understanding the hieroglyphs, they have kept us away from discovering our origins, right?
Somebody about to get up and
So
walk
to
out in a
understand
minute.
70% correctly is an achievement, right? If you don't know the language, it's a great achievement to say, we know that Ba'abi is Babi, right? But to say Babi is the eldest son of Osiris, that's ridiculous. So it's true. They don't know what's written in the hieroglyphs.
Huh? Yeah, Azu, I swear.
But they claim that they know what's written in the hieroglyphs. So, I mean, if you say, no, we don't know what's written there, you would give people chances to explore it themselves. But because they said we know what's written there, they hold us up from discovering it ourselves. So we think they figured out everything, and we go to sleep. So, did they have inferiority? I mean, like, if you have inferiority complex, you'd be like,
Bobby.
yeah, I know it, you know, even though you don't. You know, you got people, you tell them something new, and they say to you, I knew it before. And you're like, I'm not telling you something new again.
All right, man, hold on. Let's see his next claim. We're going to try to get to the next
So,
claim. I ain't trying to trip off, dude. Sorry. I ain't disrespecting
and so
the
on,
speaker.
right? So what we say, I mean, you mentioned it before, right? The eyes are very similar. Like if you look at the depiction of the ancient Egyptians and our eyes, they're exactly the same. The lips, do you guys recognize this lip? Yeah. I'm just kidding. So the lips are looking similar as well. This is how I started, actually. I started with the outer
I might not have
appearance
to
and
do
went
this
more
no
into
more. I'm
detail.
sorry. Somebody recommended this video, man. Somebody recommended this video. I'm like, we're going to change the title. Hold on. Dude, then, let me change the title to the one we watching right now. I'll change it later. Dude, I mean, shout out to them. But he said the eyes look just like ours. I had to fall back one time. And he did that Nubian lip one time. I said, no. Yeah, buddy. All right, maybe we should take it to somebody qualified, the social, huh? What he been doing lately? Or Daniela Calderon? Is it Calderon? Oh, hey, I'm tripping. That was crazy. He gonna make. I gotta change the name of this vid. I'm gonna do that right now. What the name of this video? Hey, so y'all know how I be on my Home Depot hype, telling you you can make a whole career out of Home Depot rentals. Man, hold on. What the name of this video? Audio channel. This ain't it. Edit. I'm gonna name this video That Crazy, bruh. Let's go at it. They crazy, bruh. Cool. Say. I got up out of there. Yeah. I had to get up out of there. Somebody gonna think I was supporting that video. In that video you play, And you played that video. Diversity of Ancient Nubia. We ain't seen this, but this is my man's. Now, I seen capturing the complexities and I know all the good parts. But I ain't even on it like that. We tried to do the other video, it wasn't on. So let's just kick it for a minute. I'm gonna bump that hard coof one time. I'm gonna put up a zoom and we're gonna get it popping. All right.
Morodic script in my cartouche. Roll through with them arches. Hard cool. That's in my shinu. I'm Bennu giving y'all truth. Iron core from meteorite should be chartreuse. Herbal charge the chariot and almost left Ferrari. The queen like almost Nefertari. Immortalize an image, put a figure in a figurine. Him at Netherred hoop her. Yeah. The leopard skin kilts, yeah, the clan wear 'em. And I turn your knee suit to a fan bearer. Have my servants build a new stadium where I'ma slaughter you, surround your tumor line with boot cranium. Remove the organs, we preserve the dead. Mummify them, then carve them a reserve head. And all your internet mans who lied with you, died with you, sacrificed their life, afterlife with you. Now I'm all in your spot, and I'm calling the shots. While your soul get devoured in the hall of my eye. Ain't a night ballin' or not, care if you ballin' or not. I'm still gonna tell you guys, go to Kemet like El Shaddai. You ain't no king, You're like Cambyses the Persian who couldn't draw the Nubian bowstring. Melt the jewels in your crown into a gold ring. Refashion them after smashing the whole thing. You're like Pepe II. Too old, king. If you think it ain't black, then let me just check them. I know the syntax. Every morphine and phoneme. The scholarship top line, dog, and the flow mean. And my debate to make a fraud quit the internet. Sometimes I wonder if I saw to fix this window yet. That's what you call repair, re-end. They heard the king of Madjai was a scary man, and he is though. I'm telling you, you better contain him, man. He's busting arrows at all these Mediterraneans, killing them. Now we ain't getting no views. Yeah, them flip-flops look like Tutankhamun shoes. And y'all just wiki, thinking
I'm calm in the building. Peace, what's up?
Peace. You hearing me good?
Yep.
Yeah, man. I was now asking you in the chat, what was your take on the concept of a set being a virgin? What you find?
My take on it, I haven't seen it stated like that, but the attestation that we're scrutinizing right now, it could possibly be saying that. Me and Reggie was talking about it yesterday, and I was feeling what Reggie was saying. But I don't know if you've seen that when we looked up what maiden meant, virgin was a possibility.
Yeah, I seen that. But more important than that, I don't know if you did catch the debate what Reggie and Jabari had on the same topic. It's from like a year ago or something on Senator.
I must have.
But that's the thing, because this come like a rehashing of a kind of older argument where Jabari shows some Medunetcha was specifically talking about I have not been open and them kind of thing.
Reggie said it ain't talking about that. Oh, you talking about that other Medunetcha.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I find it kind of weird that Reggie will come do the presentation yesterday and he ain't addressing the actual Medunetcha terms and thing what Jabari did bring up, that talking about.
Well, I know for a fact that he's addressed it before. He probably didn't address it yesterday because he said he's going to save his full presentation for when he does it on Sinetta TV, on House of Consciousness today.
Right, understood.
So possibly, maybe he could take that critique if he wasn't planning on addressing that. We can look at that right now, though, all of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying, because it's easy to go and pull up the debate what they had and then go and stop the slide on what Jabari was showing, the exact Medunetcha terms and them kind of thing, you know.
Somebody just asked, Smash, what kind of academic studies do you have on this subject, if any? Nothing serious. I just been getting little small certifications. I got a certificate in nubiology from Emory, just some online stuff, and a certification from Harvard in Egyptology, just some online stuff. Nothing serious. And then after that, I enrolled in University of Manchester, got accepted. It was a 3-year commitment that I declined after being accepted. But you know, my passion just comes from a love of words and a love of wisdom, kind of like from being a poet and a rapper and wanting to have more stuff to say. And so my group chose the name Hieroglyphics back in 1992, and me and my man Tajay bought our first ancient Egyptian dictionaries back then just to choose rap names. We wanted them to be authentic ancient Egyptian rap names. And so once I cracked open the book, I got really intimidated, but I did tell myself back then that I was going to try to learn the language and stuff. I didn't start studying it really until about 2008, I would say, maybe 2009. And yeah, but my certifications are small and anyone could probably achieve those. It's not, I ain't got no big, no credentials back. But yeah, what was we saying?
Hey,
Just talking
peace, y'all.
religion. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. What up with it?
Shit, cool. Hey, I got a couple concerns and some questions, bro. Uh, First thing, like sometimes when people run out of information, you know what I'm saying? They sit up there and they shoot jokes off to kind of like deflect from them not having enough information. Like so they'll shoot out an ad hominem or something. Like, the Bitterman thing. Like, I think that's kind of funny, me. I come from where, shit, you gotta have some good ass jokes and you can't let them, you know what I'm saying, get you out of character. Cause shit, sometimes, you know, once you got somebody out of character, it's like, oh, I got him. You know what I'm saying? So, but your information is top notch anyway. So all they got is jokes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just I joke back with you. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying? But
I mean, when I feel like joking, they got no wins there either. But since I got more information, I ain't no need to waste time trying to make people kiki
right,
when I got the facts. You feel me?
right, right, and
I ain't mad at
they
the.
don't even know the
Uh-huh.
they don't even know the language. They can't even read that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's jokes. Like, come on, man. Them niggas ain't on that level, bro. But I did have a question about uh the meta nature, you know what I'm saying, and how the ancient Egyptians used to pop their shit, man. Like, cause it'll kill a whole bunch of arguments, man. Like it'll kill the Aboriginal argument, it'll kill the flat earth argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, so did they talk about or did they hit like the oldest map, or did they like, ah man, we some real niggas over here, but them niggas across the water, man, them niggas ain't as real as us. They tried to do what we tried to
I'm
do,
pretty
but
sure they never said that. But but I'm
but I
trying to
mean,
get what you. I'm just saying your language that I know they didn't say that, but rephrase what you're trying to say.
okay, so okay, like all right, we over here on this geographical place over here. We know some people across the water, this big old ocean, because like the Aboriginals say, oh man, we got pyramids down in Mexico and
But think
all
about
this
it
other
real
stuff.
quick. What make us think the ancient Egyptians had knowledge of the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, okay, so here, see, because back in the gap, right, when Seti and Pharaoh was talking about it wasn't the meta nature wasn't deciphered, and Reggie was chopping them up, steel sharpens cardboard. Yeah, that was a funny little joke Reggie had, piece of Dr. Reggie, you know what I'm saying? But like he was talking about the Kepler beetle. and how the ancient Egyptians was looking like, you know, the world was round. So did they think it was just water on their side or land, a whole bunch of land? Like, you know, like I'm pretty sure, I mean, man, them niggas build knowledge about something. So is there any primary you know, as you know, as I don't know that word, but you know, that demonstrate
At test station. It's
yeah,
like, so, you know, like just think about church testaments.
Yeah,
I mean, you
everybody
know,
saying
or to
attestation.
attestation
testify
now. Man.
is like an
Yeah.
attestation. Yeah, yeah.
So is there any primary attestations, right? Of them talking about, well, like we ain't been over there, but we know it's land over there. We don't know if it's people over there, but you know, like stuff like that.
Nah, because again, when they say the West, they never talk about water to the West. I never seen a primary where they're talking about water to the West. Somebody say something in the chat so I could do something real quick. I mean, I'll do it. Hold on, I'm gonna just say yo. All right, cool. I couldn't pin the link because it was too far down. There we go. So yeah, they don't think about to the west of them was the Sahara, the desert. When they mentioned west, they had a location called Aminta, a metaphysical and a physical location. Aminta being what we would know as a necropolis, or you know, just basically the place where the dead things are, basically. Aminta, but to them it also theologically became the underworld, or the so to speak. And and practically they would reference Libyans to their west. The farthest west they would reference is about the 19th dynasty, referencing some people called the Meshwesh, who should be located almost as far over as Morocco, some claim. It was Oric Bates who made that map, who said the Meshwesh was far over as Morocco. But they never say nothing about no water to the west.
Okay.
Well, I spoke about this previously. I come on your channel and speak about this already, where the ancient world, specifically the Phoenicians, used to sail into regions into the Atlantic Ocean. You understand? They have some islands. I forget the name of the islands right now. That off the coast of West Africa going into the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm
And they
not
have
mad
some
at that. I'm not mad at that. And so we would have to think about it geographically. Even if the ancient Egyptians knew of that water, which I'm, you know, they would know of it by going into the Mediterranean Sea and then sailing west till they pass through the, you know, Gibraltar, Strait of
yeah,
Gibraltar
the
or
gates of
whatever.
Hercules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they would get there. It wouldn't be through going through the Sahara. Is kind of like what I'm talking about. So that would be something for one to explore. I heard some claim that in some movie, I didn't even want to look it up because it sounds so pseudo, about some pharaoh who had sent some boats out, and I had never heard of it. It was claimed in a movie, and I just was like, I ain't looking.
Well, you don't think they had extensive knowledge of the continent?
Um, I think they had good knowledge of the continent, not extensive.
Okay.
Like I didn't think they know about you know, Southwest Africa a lot. I don't think they knew about South Africa. You want to know why? Because the area at the first cataract was called Taseti, the land of the bow or the land of the shooters, but it also had another name called Ta Kenet, which was the frontier. So think about what a frontier means to us.
A frontier
Yeah.
just mean a border. The
It
frontier.
could mean a border, but it has implications of not knowing what's beyond that border. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
Almost
that not
like
making
wild or
sense
something.
because if you say that the first cataract by Aswan, so that is not a frontier for the ancient Egyptians. They know about more than beyond it.
Yeah, but they called it that. So
I know,
I'm
but
just not going against what they said it was.
I know, but
So
you come
my
like it.
definition of frontier might not be theirs, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so how would that? What do they mean by? I mean, because obviously they wasn't saying the frontier; they were saying Ta Kentet, and Egyptologists said that means the frontier. So what will we say that means? If we say
Well,
they
I will.
did have knowledge of the South beyond that, then what would they say that meant?
Then that would mean that's the national border, Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Where it got changed from Egypt to Nubia or something.
I ain't mad at that. I mean, but they had a word for that. It would be Resi. Tosh Resi. I'm sorry, not Resi. Tosh Resi is the southern border. We can look everything I'm saying up. So you know when they have ways to say stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Pull up Takenti and let me see it.
All right, I can pull it up on. But that's an easy one. Let me share my screen. You're gonna just find that on Wiki, but then I can show you it in dictionaries to corroborate it. So that we could get the first understanding, I'm gonna type SCTI and then put Wiki, right? And they'll tell us in the first line of Wiki, another name for Taseti was Takentet. So let's see if it does. Oh, here it go right here. You see that? Takentet. Takentet. It says the front.
Kentit.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. I just because their pronunciation ain't the real pronunciations, but this does say Takentit, like you said. Now the frontier or the borderland, and so now we could take it further than Wiki and take Kentet into the ancient Egyptian and see, because the Ta just means land, so
But
X
you see,
N T.
you should have read the last sentence on
Okay.
the first paragraph just now on the wiki.
Go ahead. What does it say?
Read it then.
Right here?
Yeah.
Taseti marked the border area towards Nubia, and the name was also used to refer to Nubia itself. Yeah. All right.
And they have it like Takentit is a synonym of Taseti.
We can see if they ever we can look up in the text corpus and see. So this is Kinet, but this is not Takenet. Let's see if we find a Taken. Not Kenti. This is Kenti, not Kinet. I need Kenti. I need to put two T's. There we go. Put two T's. XNTT. This is still Kenti. It's kind of being something different. So if this is the word that we find, so basically if we find this word means like the foremost. I mean, you'll see a lot of different definitions for it. Yeah, exactly. It's going to lead back. The root of it is going to mean the foremost. If I take off this other T, now we're going to start seeing where I see in front or before.
All right, but here was saying Smash. If Kenti meaning foremost or come like it have a connotation of like origin, right? And then we see in Kent Ta here, Southland, Kenti meaning foreland, southern was, and before it had Kenti meaning to sail southwards and thing. That's still that kind of illustrating the geographical orientation of the Egyptian.
It definitely does. And it also kind of nullifies the fact that I said they didn't know what was beyond that point. I should reword what I meant to say. I know they knew what was beyond that point, but it was, I guess you said it the best, that it was treated like a line to denote two separate polities. Like a border. But let's keep looking. But people can see it right there. This was the actual statement. It's just in reverse. It says Kenet Ta, the Southland. Now, it doesn't really say the Southland here. There's no word for South here. We're getting that, like he just said, from this statement of foremost. Or before, earlier, but it's the foremost, and then we got land over here. Ta, with the sot that we don't pronounce. Just let us know. Now, notice they do got foreign land here, though. You tripped off that? So it is referred to as not just the Southland inside of Egypt, but the Southland outside of Egypt. Taseti don't have the foreign land.
But here what I was saying yesterday, when we was watching the Desher, it also have the same determinative now.
But
But the Deseret,
the Deseret dude, that's a good thing to note. And so it's telling us it's desertous or hill country. But I think what you're saying is that Deseret is showing that the hills don't always have to be for a foreign land.
something along those lines, yeah.
All
It
right.
could just mean, it could just kind of refer to not the central metropolis. You dig?
Appreciate
I think it would be better
you.
said
9630.
in a different way, but I got you. I
David,
hear you. I hear what you're saying. I
So
mean, that ain't contradicted nothing that I've read about it. Like, yeah.
right.
Oh, let's go back. They had a term for Southerners. So they got Kintu. Now you see they put that TU bird on the end of it. So they saying Southerners, and if we following the grammatical rule, they probably saying that this is those related to Southern land. But this don't make no sense then, because it says Kintu Ta. Now, if Kintu already says those related to the South, then why they put land after here?
I not see in the U part, you know.
All right, here go the W making the U.
Right.
So that's all in this bird, the TU bird. It represents three consonants.
I will now seeing it. It
Yeah.
was on a different part before.
Oh, okay. Maybe you looking on the YouTube and not the Zoom.
Nah, in the Zoom, I now
Oh,
seeing
okay.
it.
Yeah. You see it now though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kintu Ta is Southerners, but Kintu is already the foremost group of people, and then Ta is land. I don't know how that's working.
Mm-hmm.
It's still back to what we was talking about. How can that represent some type of a frontier, but maybe not the way I described at first.
Yeap.
Not what y'all feel free to hit the link. It's all good.
Smash that Ethiopian there who was trying to make connections between the modern Ethiopian population and the ancient Egyptian. You see, we think a hypothesis.
Well, I couldn't go further because he was making some mistakes that let me know that, if you based on a faulty foundation, you ain't gonna be able to build nothing off a faulty foundation. And I started seeing a few cracks in this foundation. That don't mean that his overall theory is to be negated. It's just the way he was getting to it. The methodology I was seeing when
the lookership was too egregious for it to
the
continue.
liquor strip started kicking in. I said, "Oh man." Eddie,
hey, peace and blessings, y'all. I'm about to eat my food, man. I'm gonna jump down, but I'm still watching.
Enjoy that,
Peace,
man. Hey,
Yes,
what's
sir.
Eddie K? You in there?
Peace. I'm definitely here, Smash. What's going on?
You got some late night research you about to try to hit me with?
You know, I've been studying Reggie's on my head yesterday, but I definitely was researching. But I was just reading, bro. I've been studying reading, and it just happened to be reading about what we was talking about. And I just, if you would allow me to read something, it would be an honor.
Go ahead.
It's called Ethiopic: Some Historical Reflections on the Origin.
On the origins, your phone went out at origins.
Okay, I'm sorry. Origin of the Word Ethiopia. International Journey of Ethiopian Studies, Volume 1. It's 2004 dated. It says W.E. Du Bois in his book Black Folk Then and Now, an essay in the history and sociology of the Negro race, linked the term Ethiopia with Kush and Punt. Regarding the origins of these terms and their relationship to Ethiopia, Du Bois wrote, the Ethiopians designated the country or a larger part of its land to Kush or Kesh, which the Ethiopians translated into Kush.
All right, real
Parts,
quick. But just I'm gonna ask before you go. You know he talking about a different Ethiopia than the presenter was talking about, right?
Well. The following paragraphs kind of it tells you that he's talking about. So it says, which translate into the land of Cush. Parts of Ethiopia near Egypt were called the land of Kupar, Kupar, or Korti, Korti, the land of the blacks. Beyond that, beyond that, Kent, Khent,
Yeah,
the
that's called,
borderland,
yeah, that's what we was talking about. But keep going.
was called Kent, Khent, the borderland, and Taseti, the land of the bow. During the Middle and New Kingdoms, the Egyptians called Ethiopia Kash, Kash, or Kush. In the furthest confines of Kush lay Punt, the cradle of their race. Hansberry confirms the assertion of Du Bois when he wrote Ethiopians designated their country, or at least a goodly part of it, as the land of, he's spelling it QE something, but it says Kasa, Kush. An inscription discovered in Ethiopia in 1914 studied Oxford University, according to Hansberry, seems to suggest that the term is an indigenous to the country and peoples to which they were generally applied. So it's given the border of that Kent as, like you said, Taseti. It's right there. What, the second nome right there? Would that be? Is that? So is that so what you're saying, that frontier is where will basically be Nubia, where the gold is, which is in between?
So, you know, there's some Taseti that is considered the first nome of Egypt, and there's some Taseti that goes outside of the borders of Egypt. And the line demarking between the two would probably be like Ankoma put forth, Takinet. Or not really the line, but they're saying, you know, this is the, I don't want to say border because we got a word for that, but yeah, the border, you know what I mean? And so there was the Taseti that wasn't a part of Egypt would probably be a portion of Takinet, I guess, the frontier area or the beyond the frontier. I don't who knows.
Is that where the gold was at?
There was gold actually inside of the Egyptian areas, as they would have included, you know, they would have went down to where the gold at and just included that too. So they went right below the one of the closest areas of gold and included it in Egypt. Comb Ombo. Ombo, don't Ombo mean gold? And so I think Ombo means gold or something, but comb is like a tail or a mound or whatever. Comb Ombo, which is Taseti, inside of Tanahesi or Egyptian Nubia.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. So hold on, let me see.
Yeah, I actually I found my old school. Well, it ain't nothing. I don't be tripping off that. I ain't even about. So where you at with it, Eddie? I know you studied more than that.
I'm just reading, actually, just reading,
I'm
just
just
reading,
playing.
just reading. I'm actually reading right now about Necrotis and the Greek
Yeah, you right.
population.
They was there before that, but I wasn't in that though. See, the
They
Greeks
had
were the
I was
Greeks started migrating to Egypt before they started migrating to Egypt before they took over.
Before they
But
take over.
but they was not. I mean I don't know of them being mercenaries for Taharka. You that sound made up. And Reggie,
well,
I think you straightened that
yeah.
out.
I had the pharaoh incorrect when I just recently looked at it. I was getting Pianki
Yeah,
mixed up with
Pianki. Yeah.
yeah, I was getting Pianki mixed up with a pharaoh called PSAM
Well, let's do
Pasam.
that right now. That's what we about to do. We're gonna do the
Okay.
25th dynasty for people.
Okay, cool.
Smash. I will put on the agenda to search up punt because too
Punt.
much the punt now.
All right, you punt like the location punt, yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, we'll
we
look
do.
that up too. But we ain't spent all the talk we talked. I don't remember one video familiarizing ourselves with the characters of the 25th dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it don't start with, in my memory, it don't even start with Pianki. It start with Costa. But let's see if this is true. And so they say 744 to 656. I'm just gonna go here to click that chronology. I'm not about to read all that information. They have a they should, there it goes, starting here. No, it do start with Pi E. Now, I don't know how to start with Pi E. See, look, because it says Kashta is sometimes considered the first pharaoh of the dynasty, as opposed to Pianki. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's click Kashta real quick and see why they don't got him on here. Now, when we talk, listen to that name, Kashta. You see, with the
Mm-hmm.
land of Kush, but it's backwards. And so this is what I want to talk about too, because honestly, the only ones who, what we gonna notice is the Ta be at the end in Nubian and some southern languages.
But
Mm-hmm.
here what I say in Smash, because I just study Giz language, ancient Ethiopic language, right? And it's the same thing. Ta there's feminized words and it also have to the terminal T there's kind of happen in plenty place locations and thing too.
Well, they're saying that this translates to the Kushite, but in the ancient Egyptian, Kash would be Kush and Ta. Just like that last one we was looking at, Kenti. Remember we was looking at Kenti, Utah? Or
Yeah.
Kenta? Well, if that was like the southern land, shout out for purchasing the book, Del Sean. Appreciate you. If that was the southern land, this Kashta would be the land of Kush. But it's backwards.
Right.
It's not in the grammar of the ancient Egyptian because the Ta is following the name of the land. So this kind of would say Kush land.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but remember, all right, so when you say Kentit, it come like that just saying Kenti and with a T on the end, we're making it a location.
Oh, so that's the question. That's
Well,
unanswered by Egyptologists and us alike. And we're still pondering it. If the T is making it feminine, if the T is indicating a location or what have you. But right here, they go beyond the T and put an A, Kashta. Well, I don't know if they did it in the Meta Nature. I would have to look at it. I'm going to scroll down.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me that the T always denotes land.
It kind of seemed like that to me. Now, look. So, first of all, this is hella funny. He didn't even spell his name like the traditional Kush. I'm going to make it big. He spelled his name with the spirit. Look, you see these spirit hands, which we know are Ka.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Ka arms, and this is a SH. So that's where they're getting Kash. Now they saying that this is the land, or they say that this is a land glyph. It just looked like a similar rectangle like that one above it. But since it got the three strokes under
there
it,
too, man.
I don't
I
see.
Smash.
Oh, this is a T?
I feel so. That's it.
Yeah, that might be a T. It's in the shape of one. And so maybe that's why they're saying that this is top. But I do see three strokes under here too. And so when they put the strokes under a rectangle like that, it ain't really, it's supposed to not really be square on the edges. It should be rounded. It would mean land. So we got Ka, Sh, Ta. And then you just see Amen over here. So what, Mary, so his name was Mary, what's this one going up like? See, this ain't a, no, let me ask you a question. Do you see an eye here?
Yeah.
Okay, at first I wasn't seeing an eye. Now, you see what I'm saying? Now I see an eye. So he would have, how he got Wasser in his name.
It have a S there too.
So look, but this means to give. This is like a triangle, like Erdi. But so Sa'erdi I mean, so it was Ser and Amen. Who's most honorable out of Osiris and Amen?
Well, if this is the 25th dynasty, you know it should be Amun for the
Yeah, it's gonna
Kushites.
be Amen. So that means his name gonna be it's gonna be Suj. This is an S and this is like D. Seti Osiris. Oh, Seti. I said Osiris. Seti was Ser. No, not Seti, but D. And then this is Waser Amen. Let's see if they got it translated for us to see how far off we were.
Mhm. And I was going to say, could we just look at some of his throne names?
What the caption on the picture was describing?
Let's see. It says, this thing always be yes for now. Yes, all hard to get. Golly, grammar. All right, but they're trying to help me get citations. But it says, the situla is a vessel that
not for that one, not for that one, for the one we was watching. That is it. Sorry.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, I thought it was it. Yeah, this is no problem. Held liquid offerings used in rituals for the gods. This one is inscribed with the names of King Hashta and his daughter. Oh, so that was his daughter. But look what they said. Amen it is. So let's go back. Remember when I said Waser? They said no, don't translate that as Osiris, just translate it as an I. Somebody's waiting to get in. In order to translate an I, you're gonna put IR. That is, let me show you. I'll go to the dictionary and I'll type an IR right here. This is how I know that the Greeks translate. You see that I popped up right there? This is how I know it's before the F, and it's an IR before the F. It's gonna keep being consistent. This is how I know that here it go. This is how I know that the Greeks translated the name Osiris actually correctly. The name Osiris, I put it in my book, but I wrote it a long time ago. I actually wrote it like 6 years ago. But the etymology of Osiris and is correct in the Greek if we think about it, because they say Osiris. The OS represents the wasp scepter. If I go, but see, we'll talk about it. But the wasp scepter ain't direct. It's associated with Osiris a bit, but there's another scepter that the User scepter that they probably could have mistaken. Somebody got that may want to mute out. What's up, Aku?
Yo, what's going on, Smash? Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to leave my mic on.
Oh, it's all good. You want to get a word in before we continue?
Oh no. I'm just here to listen and watch.
Oh,
it's my first time on the Zoom. I usually be on the YouTube.
Oh, okay. Appreciate you. Thanks for tapping in. So we see that this I here does form the IR. So when we go back, we're gonna see when we see why they say her name is Amen Erdis. Well, let's see why they said this, because they messing us up. Now the this is probably right.
D and the S.
So look, Amen, right? That's right. Let me make it bigger. But we ain't supposed to really read that first. We're supposed to honor it and go from the bottom. But so we see the Amen up here, and here's the I. This is the R. Now remember when I said this said Seti? I should have just was tripping. If Amen started from this side, then the D goes before the S, not the S before the D. So this is why they say Des is her name. But that's not really saying that correctly, because this is the vision to give her. So Amen somehow, just do a literal. Amen the nature, then this is a vision or sight or an eye. This is to give, and this is femininity. All right, this makes it feminine. This S works just like a feminine T. It means her. And so it's like, let's see what they say her name means. Amen. Either Amen gave her vision or Amen, something like that. I would like to see what others say. I'm going to pop this name. And here's something else to note. This name, her name is Amen Erdis, right? But all the way through to the Roman period, Nubian queens kept these same names. Amani. They was so this is not Amin E. I learned that by studying other Nubian queens that this name is actually pronounced in the Nubian tradition Amani. So then it'd probably be a Amani Erdis or Amani Erdis. But we'll look that up and corroborate that because almost all of the Nubian queens, a lot of them called themselves Amani something. And so now she's a queen or the daughter of King Kashta, the first Kushite king, and she's even taken the name Amin. So Amani means one of Amin.
Well, so I'm also looking at it, Smash, and it says she's a priestess. So she's took on the name of the divine adoratress of Amen, Dewat Netta Jim.
Are you reading right here? Because I don't see Hawat Netra nothing on the screen.
Are you reading something else?
She's the God's wife of Amen.
I see the God's wife of Amin.
Yeah, Amen. The Dewat Netta.
Well, that was a position made up by Nefertari, almost Nefertari the first.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my book. Read Black Like Osiris is available on Amazon. I'm telling the people watching this video for the future, not just you.
Right.
And so yeah, she was that's a position made up by again, I said Amani? No, it was made up by almost Nefertari, right? And other women would it was just like the a new most royal position as they started installing the divine monarchy in real life. Remember, after a while, you had to go through the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was like Jesus or God or whatever.
And all these women are celibate, right? These are celibate. She'll be celibate. These priestesses, right?
Hey, you can hold on. Good question, Joe. I'm gonna do an online book signing once my bulk load pops up, and it should pop up any day now. But I do got like 5 or 10 books sitting around. If anybody cash at me, well, $25 because of the shipping, though, right? Yeah, the book $19.99, but I have to ship it. Cash at me with your address or email it, and I'll do that on the same day. It'd be quicker than Amazon. And so, I mean, once you get the click acknowledgement from me, which is I always check after my show. Other than that, I'm going to do a live book signing online where I just sit here with a box of books, and anybody who put money in the Cash App, I'm going to put the book in the envelope after I sign it and send them out on that same day. So shout out to you for the continued support, Joe. I appreciate you. All right, let's see what we got here. So let's reel out because we just looking at how they set up. The Kushites rolled in. Now, before doing the wiki, I'm gonna say like this: the Kushites, they didn't take Kemet all at once. Actually, we're gonna refer to a scholar for this instead of this. What they did was. Well, I just made a few claims. I'm going to try to straighten out the claims with some sources before we continue and go into some scholarship. But Ashta, see, the Kushites came up, swapped on Kemet real quick, and went back down to Kush. They didn't even just come in and they came, slapped it all up, took Thebes, and went back down. And everything was in shambles, and everybody was like, oh man, these dudes just rolled through and beat us up, and they was up out of here. Now, I'm going to go to my man Jeremy Pope for this. Because I actually be biting his style a little bit. I don't be trying to, but he's such a good orator that I be like, dang, I understand everything he be saying. So sometimes when I be speaking, I kind of be emulating Jeremy Pope.
Mm-hmm. So Smash, quick question: Does Pianki encounter Tefnut first, or does he encounter go to Waset first and deal with them and go back down and then
he go to Waset first and take that over, slap him up, and go back down to Kush.
Now, but during the same time, Tefnut is control of the Nile Delta and is coming down as well, like Fayum area. And has Heracropolis and all those little. So it's basically like an intermediate period, right? It's a lot of local chieftains, and everybody is vying for control.
It is an intermediate period. It's the Nubians who come. It's a contingency from the south who stop every intermediate period. It's a contingency from the south who stop every intermediate period. It's 3 intermediate periods. First intermediate period was stopped by, what's your word? Wasetians? The first intermediate period was stopped by the Wasetians, the Mentuhotep and Intef them, that family, the Intefs and the Mentuhoteps. They turned that over to the 12th dynasty family, Amenemhet and Semiramis. So that's when we get the Middle Kingdom. Now, this is the funny part about Egypt. I don't be repeating this over and over for a lack of information. It's something I need people to drill in their head that dynasty simply mean a family.
Family.
A family of rule, though. A family like father, son, father, you know, and they kept it in the family. Now, if we just accept it as that, we can understand how some dynasties was around while other dynasties was there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they just wouldn't be ruling, but they'd be a powerful family and that had the right to do it, to where if the big family start getting weak, then they could step up and be like, it all came down to taxes. So it would be basically, somebody had enough power to say, don't pay your taxes to the king anymore, pay them to me. It would either be the local priest or whoever, or what they would call the nomarch, or I forgot the ancient Egyptian word for a nomarch. But and so what Jeremy Pope is about to show us here is how the Cushites rolled in a particular fashion, that was reflected also in the Bible when we see them say that it was Taharka, the Pharaoh who Hezekiah sent a letter to, and the Assyrian king Sennacherib, if it was a Sennacherib or Esarhaddon, I think it was Sennacherib, it might have been Esarhaddon. So we could look that up. But whatever Assyrian king it was had got wind that Hezekiah was trying to get the king of Cush to come up and help him. So he was like, no, he tried to taunt Hezekiah, sent him a letter back. Like, bruh, you think that, so it's really deep, the letter, if we studying it from the Afrocentric perspective, I mean, trying to see what was going on from the African side, because the way he worded it was like, you calling on the king of Cush? Egypt can't help you. You see what I'm saying? And so he had automatically was saying that he even knew that Cush was in control of Egypt at that time in the Bible. But what happens is, in that story in the Bible, they don't want to give credit to the Africans for smiting the Assyrians. And so they give us a tale that says the angel of the Lord came out and smote 100 and maybe 126, a lot of soldiers, thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe over 100,000 soldiers overnight. Yeah, it was Sennacherib. Shout out for saying that. So they said it was overnight that the angel, look, y'all can see it on my, oh no, it didn't end, huh? What happened?
Now you think cracking up.
Oh.
Yeah, you were lagging, but you
lagging. Some internet stuff was happening, huh? Maybe that was messing with my internet. Let me see if I wonder if, is we still live? I wonder. Yeah, we still
live, man, but the last little 2 minutes. So you say
that's cool. Well, so what I was trying to say is I wasn't trying to be funny, but first of all, there's an account by Herodotus that said there was a tribe of Africans that were faster than horses. And they would run, they run you down on the horses. Now, I think he said it was the Garamantes who was faster than the horses. So here we're going to find, now we also got our modern day Olympic Games, and we consistently see Africans being the fastest. I ain't even tripping off that. but we ain't even on no ancient running. We on modern day running. Maybe ancient running was slower, maybe it was faster, who knows? But I'm gonna show this Jeremy Pope video where he's gonna go into great detail on this, and it's a good, even though it's taking us off on the tangent, it's a good tangent because we're learning about these Cushites. So this video is called Cushite Pharaohs and Their Armies in the Near East. And at about the point where he finished saying what he's saying that's relevant to our conversation, I'll get up out of this video. If anybody want to say something before I start it, let's do that dialogue now.
I was gonna ask Smash if there's a I mean, I'm sure there is. I just don't know of it. Where I could find a source outside of the Bible on what you was talking about,
Oh, this
or
is
just
it's,
on
it's
on
about to
Sahara
be, he
in
about to
general.
put 10 of them on the screen in this video. That's why this video
Oh,
really
okay.
good. And this is a really good scholar, Jeremy Pope. And
Jeremy
so,
Pope.
I mean, like I said, I'll be biting this style, so he gonna say it way better than me. And so I'm gonna let this play. Anybody else want to say something before we start to watch it?
No, I'm good. I'm ready for the video.
And it's gonna be, even though we're watching what he's saying, it's in the context of what we're watching. Our research question is about how the Cushites took Kemet in the 25th dynasty. And I'm giving an attestation to that here, saying that, look, when they swept into Jerusalem and other areas, they did it with such speed and fashion that it dazzled everybody. But let's hear from Jeremy Pope right here.
See,
All right, I'm gonna go.
a Cushite completely. So, during the first quarter of the 7th century BC, a Cushite king of Egypt took his soldiers out for an evening run. His name was Taharko, and he was so pleased with the soldiers' performance that he commissioned this hieroglyphic.
Y'all couldn't hear him?
No, just play.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Thought I had shared the sound. He ain't got far. I'll take it back.
Of Egypt took his soldiers out for an evening run. His name was Taharko.
Nah. Dr. Pope's. This is way too good. I gotta let him say every word, so I'm starting it over. Sorry about that.
Even if only virtually. Let me go ahead and share the screen. There we go. It'll take a second to come up completely. So, during the first quarter of the 7th century BC, a Cushite king of Egypt took his soldiers out for an evening run. His name was Taharko, and he was so pleased with the soldiers' performance that he commissioned this hieroglyphic inscription to commemorate the event. Toward the end of today's lecture, we will return to this stela to examine the details of the evening run that it describes. But right now, I want to draw your attention to the author's poetic imagery. He wrote of the troops' arrival that it was like the coming of the winds. This does not seem to have been part of the stock phraseology of Egyptian royal inscriptions. But his chosen simile would likely have resonated with the Cushite and Egyptian soldiers themselves. Powerful winds were a recurrent feature of life in ancient Northeast Africa, and they continue to be so to this day. Just last year, a massive haboob blew into the Sudanese capital of Khartoum. Anyone who witnessed the coming of that wind can readily attest that winds can be disorienting and arrive with unexpected speed. Like an effective army, a wind can cause a force of men to change course, change plans, or even retreat. And the aftermath of a powerful wind is often profound and enduring. So Taharko's scribe chose a very apt simile. However, as an historian with the benefit of hindsight, it seems to me that this simile was even more appropriate than the scribe himself intended. Because in addition to being fast, unexpected, disorienting, and impactful, winds are frequently also evanescent, leaving just as quickly as they came. The impact of a strong wind often outlives its presence, leaving only witness testimony as surviving proof of its role. This, too, is an apt description of the armies commanded by the Kushite kings during the 8th and 7th centuries BC. When Kushite armies first swept into Lower Egypt, they extracted oaths of fealty and then withdrew as quickly as they had come, leaving no permanent military presence there in the Delta. In fact, the Kushite king left Egypt altogether. He had effectively established a new political formation, known to historians as the Double Kingdom of Kush and Egypt.
So let's stop. This is the point we was looking for when he said how quick, and he gave us a great illustration of how quick they smashed up into Thebes, beat up the Wasedians, and went back down into Kush after establishing the Double Kingdom. But let's let him continue.
But the ties that bound those two countries together were initially more diplomatic than coercive. Nearly a decade would pass before his royal successor would return, first to Upper Egypt, and then, with a flurry of violence, into Lower Egypt. Here, the Kushite royal house would remain as Egypt's 25th dynasty, but only for the next 50 years, after which the invading Assyrians ultimately forced the Kushites to withdraw from Egyptian soil. The Double Kingdom's military engagements with the Near East...
So let's stop right there. Didn't he say forced them to withdraw? Hold on. Y'all can't hear me in the Zoom. Sorry about that. I was talking. Y'all can't hear me in the Zoom. So did he not say force them to withdraw? So they say Nubian pharaohs who espoused ancient Egyptian culture, like they didn't come in and change it all, say, no, do it like this. What you ask me, if you ask me, they were more like fundamentalists. You know how the fundamentalists come in like, y'all doing it wrong, man. This is all tainted up. You got to do it like this. And they smash out the people who not doing it right. That happened with the Almoravids. The contingency of Moors going up into the Iberian Peninsula after they had took it over. They went up there like, what is y'all doing? Y'all letting these fools live and stuff? Well, anyway, this is kind of like the same thing that transpired, but again, I'll let Jeremy Pope say it better.
Appear to have been even more ephemeral. Attempts to posit a Kushite and Egyptian military garrison at Lachish have been inconclusive. And we know of the Double Kingdom's military intervention in that region only from Near Eastern sources. In fact, our only truly contemporaneous documentation of the Double Kingdom's activity abroad comes from the testimony of their enemies, the Neo-Assyrians. For each of the years listed here, the Assyrians claimed to have engaged with the armies of Egypt, often specifying the involvement of troops from Kush. In fact, one of these encounters was set on the plain of Al-Teka, not far from Lachish and Jerusalem. Yet not a single one of these events or their Near Eastern participants are explicitly mentioned in the entire corpus of surviving Kushite royal inscriptions, whether in Egypt or in Kush during the reigns of the 25th dynasty or those of its descendants. When addressing conflicts in the Near East, the surviving records of the Double Kingdom provide only bombast, like this scarab, which alludes vaguely to a Kushite victory over enemies who are described only as sand dwellers.
Well, let me slow down. Now, they calling them sand dwellers, right? And they black beyond a shadow of a doubt because y'all call them the Nubian pharaohs. See? And so at this point, Man, I ain't saying this. I mean, it's on and popping though. It ain't no racial. It ain't racial because it was contingencies of all kind of people who at this point still comprise what we call the Egyptians. But the leadership and their armies just came in and took over from the south. And now they got beef with the sand dwellers who rebel against him are falling down through fear of him. Let's let this go.
The Kushite and Egyptian inscriptions' apparent silence on events in the Near East would be less remarkable if the available corpus of records from the 25th dynasty were small or were generally uninformative about military engagements or other historical events and personages. But this is decidedly not the case. The era of Kushite rule in Egypt yields several royal inscriptions, and these include some of the most lengthy and detailed accounts of domestic affairs ever to be composed in the ancient Egyptian language.
Let me stop. So when I told cats that the Nubians was way better with the Medu Neter, I wasn't just saying that based on just blabbering. He just told you some of the best, most lengthy, well-composed documents we got come from the Nubian time period. But let's hear him say that again in case I heard that wrong, like they're going to try to say. Here.
Or other historical events and personages. But this is decidedly not the case. The era of Kushite rule in Egypt yields several royal inscriptions, and these include some of the most lengthy and detailed accounts of domestic affairs ever to be composed in the ancient Egyptian language. The example that you see here, the great triumphal stela of the Kushite king Pianki, was hailed by Egyptologist Miriam Lichtheim as the foremost historical document of Egypt's late period.
Now, how you take over something, don't know the language and stuff, and you compose the foremost document during the Nubian time period. Let's go back.
Affairs ever to be composed in the ancient Egyptian language. The example that you see here, the great triumphal stela of the Kushite king Pianki, was hailed by Egyptologist Miriam Lichtheim as the foremost historical document of Egypt's late period.
So let me add to this. I argue because the Demotic script in Egyptological timetable comes out 10 years after the Nubians cut. So they don't want to give it to the Nubians by that 10 years. But I'm like, get out of here. I already know that the Demotic script was brought to us by the Nubians because you can find Demotic texts predating the wiki date that go into the time period of these Kushite pharaohs.
But it does not speak of the double kingdom's engagements with Assyria or Judah. We will return to this text later in the hour to mine it for details about the military's armament and strategy.
I'm going to stop this.
But it does not provide testimony for those armies' interventions in the Near East. The Double Kingdom's pictorial record of military action has proven even more evanescent. The loose block that you see here.
So I recommend people watch this whole, I don't want to rip too much of that content, and I want to play another segment that's more key to what we've been talking about here. I'm going to get to where he's talking about training, and you see he talking about Taseti. Let's just hear him chime in on Taseti.
Precisely, it was the symbol of the larger Nubian region in which the Kushite state was centered.
The bow.
As many in the audience today will already know, this region was designated in Egyptian hieroglyphic inscriptions as Taseti, conventionally translated as land of the bow. However, this name has presented a host of logical pitfalls for modern interpretation. About 15 years ago, I delivered a lecture at an American museum, and during the question and answer session that followed, one of the audience members opined that the armies of Kush must have been hindered by this reliance on the bow, because, he said, the bow is a primitive weapon. This struck me as an interesting problem for thought. Is the bow, in fact, a primitive weapon?
Hell no.
In one sense of the word primitive, the answer is clearly yes. As shown on this palette from pre-dynastic Egypt of the 4th millennium BC, the bow's utility in the hunt ensured that it would be an early focus of technological development in human societies. Yet, this is not the sense of primitive that the audience member was invoking. He did not mean simply that the bow was ancient, but also that it was crude or rudimentary, a disadvantage for the Cushite soldier who relied upon it. Did the ancients regard the bow as a rudimentary weapon? A cursory glance at ancient Egyptian evidence might seem to suggest so. In their inscriptions, the Egyptians frequently referred to the enemy nations that surrounded them as the 9 bows, the Pejetiu. And images of these Pejet bows were depicted on the pharaoh's sandals so that he could step on them throughout the day. Thus, in a popular lecture series, the Egyptologist Bob Breyer opines of the term bowman, and I quote, "Bowman, that's a sort of negative way to describe foreigners." Certainly, the Egyptians' intent was not complimentary. But what precisely was the intended insult? Did they mean to emphasize that the weapon itself was inadequate? This would be a dubious inference, because across Egyptian history, the standard hieroglyph representing the Egyptian soldier was a man carrying a bow. If the weapon itself was despised, then why?
It is a man carrying a bow, but what else do we notice about this man? Anybody? If y'all still there, I don't even know.
You have my art feather on a bit.
Thank
We
you.
see the feather. Yeah,
Thank
the
you. He
feather.
got that's that Nubian feather. It ain't the Ma'at feather. I would argue it is the feather of the Nubian archer. And so that's letting us know that they even seen their protection as they archers from the south. This is the standard glyph for a person in the army. But I'll let them continue.
Why would the Egyptians use it so frequently to represent their own soldiers? Perhaps then the pejorative connotation of the 9 bows and their bowmen was not a critique of foreign weaponry, but of foreign bellicosity. Foreigners were perceived as threatening, and the bow captured that threat in a single object. If so, then the bow must be taken seriously as an ancient weapon. Here, I would turn your attention to the work of Gad Rousing, who authored a monograph on the subject. His comments are instructive, so I will quote them.
And the video don't stop being good, so I ain't gonna never find a point just to stop it. Y'all feel free to click the link. You know what I'm saying? We chilling. So I wanted to point that out because we was looking over stuff about Kashta and how they took over Egypt and Pianki and what have we. Now it says Kashta was an 8th century BC king of the Kushite dynasty in ancient Nubia and the successor of Alara. His name in Kashta, as transcribed, Kashta pronounced whatever, of the land of Kush is often translated directly as the Kushite. He was succeeded by Pianki, who would go on to conquer ancient Egypt, establish the 25th dynasty. Kashta is thought to either have been the brother of his predecessor Alara or have been unrelated. Both Alara and Kashta were thought to have married their sisters. These theories date back to work of Dunham and Macadam. But Morcott points out that there's no clear evidence that support these assumptions. Kashta's only wife was Pembatsjma. That's like a straight, not Egyptian name. Petbatsma. It do got bot in there, but A Nubian queen dating to the 25th dynasty, several children, blah, blah, blah. Pai, Shabaka. All right, cool. I ain't getting stuck on him. Now, you want to talk about Bianchi, Eddie?
Yeah, I do. I do. What I'm reading about is like actually I'm at the 26th dynasty right now. Can you maybe so it
You want to
says
share your
I can't
shorts? I mean, you can share your screen.
I can't pronounce this word smash
Just
Psammetichus the second Pasamachus
oh,
Pasam
Somtech or whatever.
Samchet, okay. And Apris.
I
So I-
guess
so
that sounds
so I'm
cool.
gonna
Whatever. Just Somtech
it
and
says
whoever.
it says Samtras and then it says Apries. And one of his commanders, Amasis, Amasis, in which the former was killed. It says, this seems, if we are to judge from the apparent cessation of the manufacture of scarabs and necrotas at this time, to have caused a temporary disruption of business for the colony, a thing not to be wondered at, since Apris levied 30,000 Greek mercenaries to aid him, and they were defeated. Amasis, once he had secured his power, in spite of the fact that he had established himself with the aid of the Egyptians, realized that he must cultivate the friendship of the Greeks, who had
Whoa,
been the
hold on.
main.
Let me say shout out for these cash apps. Dang, I ain't even put up no cash app. Y'all some bosses. Lennox, Joe, shout out to y'all. Let me see, somebody
Definitely.
said something. Charlie B, Rex Lux, peace to you for the cash app. All right, go ahead. My bad, I just had to give
Okay.
shout outs,
No,
man.
no problem, no problem. It says that Egyptians realized that he must cultivate the friendship of the Greeks, who had been the main strength of his opponent, Apris. He accordingly abandoned the traditional Egyptian prejudice against the Greeks and openly set about seeking their support. This change in attitude was manifest in several ways. He contracted a friendship and an alliance with the Greeks of Cyrene
Now, who did?
and took
Let me say one more thing to
uh,
Joe. Joe, email me um email me your address to Casual Hieroglyphics for the book. And I'll get that out today. All right. So now you saying that this person who did this contract with the Greeks or whatever,
yeah, these are Egyptian. This is Egyptian pharaoh
what's
at the time.
but I was kind of half listening. What's his name? My bad.
Amasis.
Yeah, that's not.
Amosis.
Oh, so
They
AMASIS.
spell it.
Amasis
They
or Armosis. I mean, whatever you said. This is not a. I'm about to look him up. AMASIS. The
yeah,
second.
yeah. No, the first.
All right.
So the scene right now, Smash is 25th, 26th dynasty, and everybody is just local chieftains. So we're seeing Kushite pharaohs,
So
the Theban
look,
ones.
they gave me almost the first.
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm talking. That's what it is. Yeah,
hold on. Why you say where is this Amasis coming from?
that's the name. That's how they're spelling it in this
Nah,
particular.
that's just confusing us. But all right, so this
Okay.
almost the first. You know who he is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so then what about him then?
Okay. So it says basically, he accordingly abandoned the traditional Egyptian prejudice against the Greeks. This change in attitude was met.
Wait. Something wrong here. Almost the first ain't had nothing to do with no Greeks.
You gotta let me finish the source.
Man, that we talk. I mean, we gotta understand what we reading. So maybe they're
hmm
not talking about almost the first. Is all I'm trying to say. And we making a mistake. Amasis the first probably ain't almost. You see what I'm saying? Because that can't be. All right, you must be talking about the second. Now that's the time period
Okay.
you talk about, 570 to 526 BC. Do it say the second or the
Wait.
first, bro?
It says, well, okay. So at this, remember, Smash, we're talking about three different local chieftains at the same time. They're vying for power. So they're talking about um Pasama, what the dude
Yeah,
Pasamti the
yeah. With
second.
him, you already in the 500s. That's how I know. Sounds you just don't pronounce the P because it's Greek. I mean, it's not Greek, but just don't pronounce the P and sound his name out. See what you get.
Yeah, so
The P is
Samati,
silent, so it's like Somtech, right? Is it
Samtech second.
TIK at the end?
But it
Yeah, that's
says
Somtech or
the
whatever.
second. It says 605 BC. That's the date of
Oh,
the.
605 to what?
Uh, it's well, where I'm looking at right now. It says that he employed Greek mercenaries in the So let me finish reading
But
the.
I'm with you, but we almost passed it. So let's just be clear. One of these Amasis, the first, say 1550 to 1525 BC. We're not talking about him, correct?
No, we're
So
not
the
definitely not.
second one is Amasis, or almost the second, a pharaoh of Egypt in 570 to 526 BC, which is right
Okay,
around the time period you're talking about. Do you think that's him?
yeah, that's him.
Okay, great.
That's him.
Thank you.
That's him for sure. All right. Okay.
So we're gonna
Hold
look
on one
at him while
second.
you're reading.
Okay, I weird. Okay, so this change in attitude was manifest in several ways. He contracted a friendship with an alliance with the Greeks of Cyrene and took as a secondary wife a Greek woman, a native of Cyrene whose name was Ladice. He removed the Ionians and Carians who had been living in Defina to Memphis and made them his bodyguards.
All right, so you win that. You got this. This guy messed with some Greeks, but I thought Reggie pointed out that that ain't what you were saying at first, because you said
Yeah, well,
Pianki.
remember I was talking about I was mixing up Pianki with this Pasanti, Pianki and
Oh, Sam
Pasanti.
with Sam. So look,
Samtet,
if you take
yeah.
off the P, it's just Samtik. Sam
Mm-hmm.
Tech.
I was messing up. I was messing up confusing the two. But yeah, it's basically just saying how he, are hiring these Greeks, marrying the Greeks. He said he removed the Ionians and hired them as his bodyguards, aligned himself with Croatia, Polycrat, how
All right,
whatever.
so all of this is good. You did that, and you even showed me something. But I'm trying to get to your overall point, since Reggie dismantled the fact that the Nubians didn't mess with the Greeks. This ain't Nubians. So why are you still reading it? Just for the learning moment?
Well, these are Nubians. These are
Ah, you messing up. Where are they Nubians?
nah. Okay, so Pasantek is a Nubian, right?
Nah, heck no. This dude is a Persian, dude. Look, I just clicked on the third. So when them names
Nah.
with that P and that S come in, them some Persians, bro. Let me see what they say.
But look, so it says Pasantik the second, and then it says Apries. So Apris.
Them
So
Psalm
that's
Texas Persians, dog. Let me see what he say. I know it just from my memory, but ask somebody in the chat might help us out. Herodotus states Psamtik had ruled Egypt for 6 months before was confronted by a Persian invasion of his country led by King Cambyses of Persia. So hold on, what was his country?
he's a Cushite.
Nah,
So
Psamtik ain't no Cushite, bro.
he's descendant of Pianki. These are so this is
His
this is
predecessor
it.
was Apris. So this is who he came from.
Nah, but look,
Apris.
so look, Smash. This is where the confusion comes. During this time period, they'll give you a pharaoh, and he'll be the pharaoh of a certain region, a local chieftain, and they'll have him as the pharaoh of that location. And then they'll have a pharaoh because let me see.
Man, okay,
Okay,
so nah, these are you wrong, bro. I already know Psalmtech and them was. I thought they was Persians, but they was Assyrians. I mean, they something else, bro.
they say
Look,
that they tried to say that he was Libyan, but he's Cushite.
nah, you just made that up. You ain't got no source to say he Kushite.
I'm reading the sources.
It never said he was Kushite. I've been listening.
I'm reading the sources.
All right, we'll read the sentence that say he Kushite.
Hold on one second.
Look, he was succeeded by Cambyses, bro. You messing this up.
Hold on, man.
I'm looking
Sam
right
said,
now. It don't say nothing about Nubian
Nico,
nowhere on the wiki at least.
Nico.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
made that up.
hold on, man. Nico.
But he wasn't Persian though.
No, he wasn't Persian.
So he was coming from that Assyrian. He in the Assyrian Egypt, right? They took it from Pianki now.
Hold on. Not took it from Pianki.
I mean, they took
So,
it from Taharka now. That's what I meant. About Tawatamani.
hold on. 'Cause what I'm reading is
Man, you messed that all up. You got us all off track.
no. Go ahead, Smash.
So you said
I'm
this was
reading
the Nubian. If you can't prove it, you need to let that go. Look.
Let me read it.
Okay, they say it was the last native dynasty to rule Egypt before the Persians.
Exactly.
But hold on, this don't make no sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh
Smash.
no,
Three.
no. What's that?
They giving
period?
us.
They giving us what?
They're giving us. So they're giving us the interaction between these local chieftains. Okay, so Horan Head, right?
Hmm. See, they
Okay.
say that was related to the 24th dynasty. That's what this wiki say. So they skipped over the Nubians. They contradicted you directly, though.
Hold on.
Look at this sentence. Are you seeing my? You ain't seeing my screen,
I can't see your screen. Hold on,
I'm about to
Smash.
share
I
it.
was reading.
You should be seeing it.
I can see it. Hold on. I was reading
This
while you were
dynasty traces its origins to the 24th dynasty. So they particularly skipped directly over the dynasty you saying they related to.
Hold on. Talking and the sequence of Pianki was recognized as Soul King over Egypt. Pianki to whatever.
I'm giving you all the time in the world.
So for some, because I can't pronounce that
Don't
name.
say the P no more. Just say Sam.
Samtech.
Yeah.
Samtech. Okay.
Man, it said on the screen you messed it up. Look, let me just read it while you messing it up. Look, you say, this dynasty traced its origin to the 24th dynasty. Samtek I was probably a descendant of Bak en Ra Nef, okay, from the 24th dynasty. Now look, following the Assyrian conquering of Egypt by the Neo-Assyrian Empire during the reign of Taharka and Tantamani, I said Tawatamani, but Tantamani, it said, I think it was a W in his name. Yeah, see, they got a W in his name. Tawet Tamani. But anyway, and the successors and the subsequent collapse of the 25th dynasty of Egypt, Samtek was recognized as the sole king over all of Egypt. Samtek formed alliances with the king of guilds of Lydia. What the hell was that?
Mm-hmm.
But but you messed that up though. Who sent him mercenaries from Carter and ancient Greece? So yeah, I see how that mistake could be made. Because if you thought he was a Nubian, then we could have thought that these mercenaries went to the Nubians.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hold on.
Ain't no get back, bro.
No, I ain't no get back. I ain't trying to get back. I'm just trying to get clarity because at the same time, it's so let's set the context. At this point in history right now, everybody is fighting everybody. It's local chieftains everywhere, right?
Not really everybody fighting everybody. This ain't an intermediate period, is it?
Where? So tell me who was the pharaoh? Who was the chieftain of Wasat at this time?
All right.
It's not Samtek, and it's not, you know what I'm saying. So who is
So
the
what
chieftain?
they just said about the person we was reading, I forgot his name. I'm about to
Samtek.
They said he was appointed ruler of the whole Egypt, correct?
By the Assyrians, yeah.
So then how you dealing with your chieftain theory?
Because okay, hold on. So So when Pianki comes in that 25th dynasty is over with, that's when we see Samtek come in, and the Assyrians defeat these Cushites. So they appoint this Libyan Samtek as the ruler, but this was the Waset kings are still in Waset.
Shout out Alzay. Shout out, who was that? My bad. All right, what you say, Eddie?
Hold on, Smash. I'm still reading and talking. Go ahead. Let me. I'm still reading a few things real quick.
Rakim, shout out for the cash app. Somebody said Babby London, huh? That's how dude was doing. But Abby London, Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So are black Americans the only black people? Anybody want to answer that?
Or say it again.
Are black Americans the only black people?
Man, hell no. It's supposed to mean everybody in Africa and part of the diaspora.
Everybody in the whole diaspora, right?
Yep. Same thing with black, as far as I know.
Just making sure I ain't losing it.
All right, Smash. I got some info. This is it's by DM.
Eddie.
It's by GM. This is by Reisner's chronology right here. Um, it's starting at the 22nd dynasty, okay, but that it says from these facts, Reisner concluded that while the northern Libyans were entering the delta or soon thereafter, the southern Libyans, the Tamahu, pushed into the Nile Valley in Ethiopia, coming no doubt over the old road of the Oasis. During the reign of Shoshank, or probably a little later, a Libyan chief, the man buried in Kutan, established himself as an estate at El Korah near Napata, in all probability the first chief of the El Kuro family, seized at once the powers of the old Egyptian viceroy and became, like all the other Libyan chiefs in the Nile Valley, nominally tributary to the Libyan king of Egypt. It says, hold on, I'm trying to see where it's talking about. Okay. Reisner's claim that the names of Pianki's commanders in Egypt and Purin are also Libyan. The reading of the first, which occurs only in Pianka's inscription, is uncertain. The second, however, does occur in Lower Egypt and the Delta during the Libyan dynasty. A
Bro, if it
limestone.
take more than 4 sentences, it's readership, bruh. You don't really know where your point is at inside of what you cite, and you just trying to read it.
Well, I'm reading information, trying to give a background of what, you know what I'm saying? So
All right, just
it's a lot
read the
of,
part that applied to what you're trying to prove, because if you're still trying to prove that the Greeks hooked up with the Nubians or whatever, that's not saying that. Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
is it saying that?
Yeah, it says that. Because the
It
problem,
say the Greek hooked up with the Nubians. Read it, man.
man.
I was listening hard, Eddie.
No, no, the point that I'm trying to make is that it seems as if this is what happened. This is what I just was reading. Both Cushites and both Egyptians hired these Greek mercenaries once they came into Necrotis. And this happens about
You
September
just making
27th.
that up. I mean, I'm listening to all of your attestations. You could say that about Egyptians. You can't say that about the Cushites, because your sources ain't saying it. That's all I'm
So
saying.
the source that I'm reading says that
You went to the
all of
22nd
this.
dynasty, Eddie.
Hold on, man. When you're reading these articles, but you know it's a lot of reading, so it's hard to just jump to the point where it says this. So I'm reading them, And you know what I'm saying, I have to go back and put them back
All right,
up.
I'm with that. But is there a part that start talking about the 25th dynasty? Because you read about the 22nd dynasty, a different family. They was talking about Shoshank, Libyans. So let me straighten that out a little bit. Not just Necrotus, but the Greeks. Now I can help you, but you're just off track. The Greeks did have, dude, I could take the Greeks to earlier than people want me to. I'll at least go to 800 BC, but not in Kemet. It wasn't in Kemet. I got sources on the Greeks setting up a colony in Libya going back to like 800 BC.
But I
And they
got
was
them in Kemet
mixing
too,
with the
brother.
Libyans.
Hold on, brother. Let me give me a second, brother, to just get some info, and
You want to know
I'm gonna come
why?
back.
Because there was an oracle to Amen in Libya.
Mm-hmm.
Amen, they see Amen as a direct way between their god Zeus. And there was also a temple to Neith in Libya. So I said Greeks in Libya 800 BC. Now you're not about to find Nubians dealing with them too much, unless I have not found. I'm not gonna say what you're not about to find, but there's not a lot of evidence showing that, and you seem to be forcing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Hold on,
you be looking at the evidence and you know it's say 22nd dynasty, and you know I'm gonna catch that when you start reading it, but you still reading it.
Hold on, brother. I'm just reading. Hold on.
Man, why don't we share the screen so we can all see it?
I got some good info. Hold on.
Yeah, share the screen if you can.
All right, give me a
That's
second,
all.
brother.
But he really ain't got nothing to show yet. We might need to go to the next one. They didn't hook up with the Greeks as far as
No,
attestation show.
move to the next, and let me chime back because I'm reading and I'm pulling up info at the
All right,
same
well, let's
time. So
stay
just,
on the subject kind of to support your
okay,
argument. Who did
okay.
they, because I ain't trying to just beat you down. We just got to find another way. Who did they hook up with? The Nubians. Who do we have evidence that they hooked up with? And how do we answer these research questions properly? So we got evidence that at least there was an effort from the Asiatic sand dwellers in Avaris, as they were called on the primary attestation, that they wrote a letter and it was intercepted by Kamos. They was trying to hook up with the Nubians to topple Egypt. We could cite that and we could read it, and then we can't say like can't nobody get around us because we could just put it on the screen. I won't read 1,000 lines. I'll only read one sentence, and it's gonna say, "Oh, I caught you trying to hook up with the Cushites." You see what I'm saying? And then we won't have to go beyond that. Now, it don't have to be that direct, but if you going all around different families, different dynasties, and just trying to make some conclusions that ain't really there, you might have to revisit that argument. Who else they hooked up with? They hooked up with Jews. They don't like that, but it happened. About 450 BC. Yeah, I think he was one of those shoe-ins. I think Samtek was a shoe-in because the Assyrians took over and they made Samtek like a vassalage. Or somebody who was like, all right, y'all taking over. I'm not with them Nubians. We need our Egypt back. Put me as the king. I think them strong cash apps is because y'all been buying the book through the cash app. I got you. I know what's up. But you would like to say that and put the address up there, or make sure y'all hit me with the address in the casual hieroglyphic. Eddie, you got something else?
No, I'm here, Smash. I'm reading.
So I
I'm gonna
said,
just
all
spit
right,
it out.
all right. I said Greeks in Libya, 800 BC. Let me see if I can pull that up somewhere. I ain't looked at that in a long time. I'm just Googling Greek ruins in Libya. What y'all know about it, man? Oh, they took me back to the 6th century. All right, hold on. That's 500 though, Eddie. 6th century to 500s, right?
So did we say this Amosis was is he Amosis? Is he Greek or is he is what it so this is what so
Amos. We could say Amos. I being the
so
moon, like Yah, and
so
Mess
okay
being birth. Amos,
so
go ahead.
let me read this because I was so okay. So Psamtik the second, it says Apis, and one of his own commanders, Amosis, and which was formerly killed. It said that a thing not to be wondered at, since Apis Levi 30,000 Greek mercenaries to aid him, and these were defeated. Amosis, once he had secured his power, in spite of the fact that he had established himself with the aid of the Egyptians, realized that he must cultivate his friendship with the Greeks. Now, this is where it says where he married the Greek woman. So we're saying Amos is not an Egyptian; he's a Libyan.
Pardon me?
Are we saying so? These sources come from the Egypt of the Hebrews and Herodotus.
Huh?
The passing of the empires, and then it's uh by Necrotis by Petrie. Those are the footnotes at
Okay,
the bottom.
okay.
But it just says so. It says that though Phil Helene, Philhellene, Amosis did not wish Greek influence in Egypt to be spread. He accordingly passed an edict restricting and concentrating the Greeks in Egypt at Necrotis, and with this measure, the colony entered upon its most prosperous period. Until then, its traders had mainly been Milesian, though there is both literary and archaeology evidence that there were some Cyprians, Argentinians, and Samians on the site before the beginning of the 6th century. After the decree of Amosis, however, Necrotics had to receive Greeks from every side. Strict laws were made for forbidding any other settlements.
But the decree of Amosis, click it. That's gonna be Amos the second. Click the decree of
Okay,
Amosis if that lights up.
okay,
And we sharing the
okay.
wrong screen. We need to see your screen.
I
But
can't. I
click,
can't
all right, well,
smile.
just click the degree of Amosis and see which Amos that is. Watch that be the second. It better not be
I'm
the
reading.
first. Go ahead.
I'm reading off J. I'm reading off the J star, so I can't. It
All
ain't.
right,
It
so
ain't
I'm
a.
gonna Google it then. The decree of Amosis.
Okay. Yep. It said, yeah.
Man, they going
So
to
it's also
almost the first. That's messed
almost
up.
the first.
That go back too
Almost the
far
first.
in history, dog.
That's what I'm. It's almost the first.
No,
It don't
it
say
ain't making sense with what you explaining.
that's the source. This is the source.
So read what they
I'm
say
reading.
about the decree.
I would have to literally pull that up
No, just
because
read
I
what
have.
they say about it on the screen that you got.
It don't go into detail. It
But
says after the decree of. It says after the decree of Amosis, it says Necrotis began to receive Greeks from every side. So basically, just saying that after the decree, all type of Greeks came in: Ionians, Dorians, Alionians, and they all came there. And it said Greek flourished it said Necrotis flourished as a Greek
it did.
colony.
It did. But you think in the 18th dynasty, that ain't what they talking about. They talking about almost the second with Psamtik and shit up in about the 26th dynasty.
25th dynasty. Yeah, 25th dynasty.
That's what they say,
Yeah.
but it's the 26th. That's what you making it the 25th. That's the pharaohs from the south. It's got to be the 26th. We just went through that, but you forced a square into a triangle.
So look, with these Egyptians who occupied the adjoining land to the south, the Greeks at Necrotis seem to have only limited intercourse. It says from Herodotus, we learned that Psamtik the first entrusted the care of the Greeks, certain Egyptian children to whom they were to teach Greek language. These children, Herodotus says, instructed became the parents of the entire class of interpreters in Egypt. So it's saying that they're sending the Egyptians to these Greeks to learn Greek. so that they can be the interpreters, right? But they're saying Egyptian. They're not saying that these are the Libyans or this. This is saying these are Egyptians.
I ain't mad. So what's next? You
It
never
says
put
from.
them in the Nubian time, so I just gotta let you go on. So what else?
So do you think they're not Nubian people? Well, okay. So
Man,
these.
didn't they say they ran the Nubians out in the 25th dynasty? At the end of
Well,
it, somebody came in and had ran them up out, remember?
he continues. Well, they continue to have people there, man. It ain't like the Nubians lived there for all them years, and then
I
everybody.
understand, but you saying the Nubian is not like a person who is Nubian, but you saying that like the Nubian authority hooked up with some Greeks. Of course, a Nubian and a Greek may have interacted after the 25th dynasty, but the Nubians as a structure did not hire Greek mercenaries to fight nobody. Man, the Nubians was the best fighters, bro. They wasn't hiring nobody. They always was sought after. They wasn't hiring nobody. Name somebody. Do you think Nubians ever had beef and went to the Egyptians? Like, yo, we got some beef. They was the ones who handled all the beef. From the 5th dynasty on. Winnie. And before Winnie went south to get an army, it was somebody during the time period of Mer Imra. So, I don't know, you just made it up. But the Greeks had something to do with something. Let's talk about the real Greeks. That's what I was trying to do. So, did you look up the Greeks in Libya? I thought it went back to the 800s, but they ain't even putting that up to the 5th, 6th century.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just ain't going back far enough.
I don't see anything about 800. I mean, it says that they were 700, 650 BC, but in Herodotus, but it says that they were there before, but as a colony.
So, what's your point? What if they was there? I just want to,
My point is, I did have a major point I was trying to allude to by placing these Greeks in Egypt during this time frame, because we see
we
the
got them
colony.
in Egypt. You win that, but we don't got them hooking up with the Nubians. Is all I was saying. So you could continue with your point about that.
So it would be, so my thing would be what we can. So I would have to look and see, because they're saying that these were Nubians, Cushites. You know what I'm saying? Pharaohs. And hold on.
Nobody said that.
Because there's like
Not
4
one of
different
your
pharaohs.
sources said that, family. I'm just saying. I'm being kind. Not one of your sources said that. You just saying that.
I'm trying to find the actual part where it said it. I had a lot of little. That's the
So
thing.
if you want to press Control F and type any word you think associated to the source. If it says something about Nubians, type that in after pressing Control F. And that's how you speed search a page to find where it was at.
Okay. Give me a hot second, I'm still reading.
That's how I know it ain't there.
So we do have the Egyptians hiring the Greek mercenaries, but you're saying that we don't have any source of Cushites working.
At plenty different times we got that. We got that during the Alexandrian Wars or the Roman. What was that called? The Roman wars at about 460 CE. 446 CE. I think it was the Roman Jewish Wars, but let me look this up. Roman Jewish Wars. They say 70 AD. That's a little late. It's another war that broke out, but they fought in this war too, but that's 70 AD. It was another war. Yeah, there you go. Where it said instigated with 2 brothers and lasted between 46 and 48. That's what I was talking about. So why they got this going so long? I said 46. The revolt began in 66 CE, where the Romans and the Jews, but there's a fight of Alexandria. Maybe I should look up a battle of Alexandria that happened before this at about 46 something. Let me see. And they definitely fought in that too. But these is all, let me see, Battle of Alexandria. Not the one in 18. Oh, So 30. Now this is 30 BC. If you look into this, look, it say Greece right there. So it says his major of his army in Greece. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Battle of Alexandria was fought on July 1st to July 30th, 30 BC between forces of Octavian and Mark Antony during the last war of the Roman Republic and the Battle of Actium. Antony had lost the majority of his fleet and had been forced to abandon the majority of his army in Greece. Okay, so this is Greeks actually fighting and stuff. But they ain't really fighting with Egyptians, they fighting in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
There was only 6,000 Egyptian troops, 28,000 Romans. But so that don't really got nothing to do with that. I can't give you no Greeks really. Fight with Zonophoroni. Zonophoroni. Let me look that word up. Zonophoroni. Zonophoroni. Was some I'm gonna say Jews. See if I can find it. Well, the Zonophoroni is I'm gonna have to say when the Jews were Typhonians. When Jews were Typhonians. Typhonians. Now there's this good document called When the Jews Were Typhonians, right? When the Jews. This means when the people of Jewish heritage was considered related to Set in ancient Egypt. Typhoon, IANs. Typhonians. They're gonna have to. They're trying to hide this document. It's in JSTOR. If I have, there we go. The depiction of the Jews as Typhonians, right? You see that? So let me pull this up. Because there's a term in here that's going to lead. They're talking about the Greeks fighting with the Egyptians in this document. Let's see. The depiction of the Jews as Typhonians. I don't know if I'm sharing the screen right. This document. You might want to read this. You're going to love this document. It was a 1996 publication. Let me see if I can download it to say download PDF. This ain't going to be the real PDF. This it? This is it. That's hands and feet in this document. So, the depiction of Jews as Typhonians. Now, remember I tried to type this word in Google. It wasn't popping up. That's because that Google don't give you everything. I'm going to go to a part in here where, let me just see if I can find Greeks by typing G-R. Greek. All right, now look. So it says the population of the myth can be, to a large extent, be explained because Seth Typhoon associated with foreigners. So now he's talking about how Set became associated with Jews and Greeks too. But it says Set Typhoon could represent any evil foreign people which threatened Egypt. Asians, Persians, Greeks, and possibly also Jews. I want to get to the point where you're talking about them fighting in this war where the Jews were called Zonophoroni, and because they wore girdles when fighting, and it's something to pull up. As well as they're going to talk about these Greeks fighting with them in this. I'm gonna look for it, but you can.
I'm here. I'm still reading, Smash.
Just zooming through every time they talk about it. To see if I can find where they talk about them fighting in some wars. Maybe I should search the word war. I think it's about here. Yeah, it's around here. Associated Jews with Set Typhoon, enabling the Alexandrians and other Greeks living in Egypt, as well as the indigenous Egyptians, to construct the Jews as scapegoats who had then been driven out or even killed during the period of distress, like Set Typhoon. That's another issue. Well, in this document, they're talking about a war that transpires, and maybe it's just the Jewish people fighting with Egypt. Yeah, I don't know. So hold on. This ain't even. They put up the wrong document. No, they didn't. The depiction of the Jews of Josephus. Well, let me find another word. Girdle. I'm gonna put girdle in here. Now it popped right to it. So let's go up. These are some words that popped out to me when I remember reading this document, and it stuck with me that they talk about them wearing girdles. So the fragment seems to foretell that the Jews will inhabit the land of Helios Ra, that is the land of the Egyptian sun god Ra, who is the ruler of the cosmos and connected with the royal ideology with Horus, and connected in the royal ideology with Horus. The correspondence between CPJ 520 and Shariman's story render it very probable that it is the Jews who are intended as the people who are expelled from Egypt in CPJ 520, line 8. This assumption is strengthened by the characterization of these people as girdle wearers. Zono Ferroni, right here. Let me see. I knew I didn't have that wrong. In a published fragment of the same text. But I want to hear him talk about Greeks fighting it, because it's in these wars. But whatever, I'm looking for too long, and now I feel like I'm doing what I accuse you of doing. Let me just type war.
You just reading, that's all.
No, that's cool. I want to see if I can speed find. All right, damn. If not, I can't give you no source for the Greeks fighting with Egyptians. Some others may can. But yeah, this has been a cool stream. I've been getting a lot of good support. Let me go see something real quick. I want to see. Shout out for people joining the channel, making it happen. Let me see if anybody emailed me their address before I get up. I want to get that popping. Then I'm gonna watch Brother Reggie's show today. Okay, yeah, we got that email right there. Okay. Making sure, so I'm gonna go mail out these books. And yeah. What's up with Chef? Somebody said you be switching up now. They say depending on what show you on, you might say something different. Chef. I didn't see it as that, but I'm gonna start analyzing and see if that's the case. See what else other dog back there barking. See, it's the beginning of the year. I've been trying to get my page up. I've been getting some good support to start this year, so I'm gonna try to get at least one stream in every day. But I ain't hogging up the stream hours though. Not like that, but I be wanting to watch other stuff too. So I'm gonna close this down. I want to thank you, Eddie King, for your inquiries about the Jews. I mean about the Greeks.
I appreciate it, Smash. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And
You guys
Uncommon,
going
thanks for
on?
participating. I'll probably be back later since this was a short stream of Don't Nothing Be Popping tonight. Somebody said the professional Greek mercenaries of Siot in Egypt. I think they probably going, yep, they in 520 BC still. So ain't nothing took us out that time period, family. So yeah, that's what's up. Shout out to y'all. All right, let me do something real quick. Just play some Blap real quick. Maybe get ready to oh no, episode of Tally Ho. Let's see an episode of Tally Ho real quick. See. Listen to an episode of Tally Ho and we're gonna get up out of here. I ain't made no new episodes, it's still the same episode. Tally Ho is the horse of Fremore Jones. Fremore Jones lived in 1844, and well, he's on a mission to stop slavery from moving out west. He also seen that the gold rush is moving in on African land in the west. Yeah, black people had land in the west, and this is my way to teach it. And they was hooking up with the Indians and having kids and stuff. So somebody who say they got some Indian in them ain't wrong. But this is done all in good comedy. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to play Tally Ho. I'm going to play both episodes and we up out of here. What's up with Tally Ho? Where you go? Oh, here it goes. On the last episode. No, that's not it. It's this. This is a story of a black cowboy in 1844. Tally ho, tally ho. Thanks for hitting that cash app. Don't hit that cash app. Don't support the channel. Let me put it up for y'all. Tally ho. He fights for justice and freedom everywhere he goes. Tally ho. Help me produce more works like this. If y'all like Tally Ho, help me produce more. Tally ho, tally ho. Whoa there, Charlie. There's some crackers in the background. Ain't no show got content like this show. Well, not too far now, Charlie. Calm down, man. Yeah, well, I hear some Mormons panning gold up in the Negro bar. We're gonna see if we can't tend to that. Come on, girl. Oh, what's this we got here? Seems we call ourselves one of them whipper crackers. Well, Mr. Marsh. It kind of looked like you didn't took a liking to beating on indigenous men. Okay, Mr. Marsh. Say there, cracker. Mr. Marsh, look out.
Well, it looks like we got ourselves a horse riding nigger, boy.
Is that right?
What you doing around
Get
me?
him, man.
That was one fast draw.
Like that. You killed my master. What's the matter with you? No, shut your
You
slave
don't get
ass
me
up.
killed.
Come on, hop in the coach.
Wow.
I was likely to say you was sent by the good Lord. Keep it low. I just never seen a Negro use a gun like that. There's more crackers around here and all that talking could get us sought out. You need to learn how to shut the fuck up. Why, I should surely like to know how a Negro gets all these guns in this nice... You know what? Slave niggas is dead weight. I ain't come this far to get stopped by no one whipper cracker, no bootlicking Negro. Same devilish white boys intend to spread they slave trade out west. And if so, they're gonna Thanks for the cash apps. Fremore Jones. Fremore Jones. Oh, let me go stop by this ragged ass saloon. See if I can't find this one. Howdy, Bart. Black guy in town. Hey, Bill, look at this guy.
Howdy.
Hey there.
What you drinking, traveler?
I'll have a whiskey.
One whiskey for the free black guy. Sitting at the front counter.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Cough, cough.
Yeah, tell him Fremore Jones. I shouldn't have no problem around
Kind of a
these
tough guy.
parts.
Fremore
Now
Jones.
check it out. I've got word that Mormons been mining gold up on the Legensdorf land.
Yeah?
What you know about that?
Few Mormons have rolled through here.
Is that so?
There's a couple out back.
Well, who's that Negro girl over there slapping on them piano keys?
That fine
like
lady
that?
may be Annie Mae Bell. She happens to be the lead vasqueros at Ranchos Rio de los Americanos.
Rio de los Americanos, huh? Now that's music to my ears. Shit, I was supposed to arrive 3 sundowns from now. Say, white boy,
What may I do you for?
take these few coins, go on and run over there and scoot to the Negro girl, give her a drink.
Surely.
Tell her it's from Fremore Jones.
Whiskey on Fremore Jones.
Let me go back here and holler at these Mormons in the back. See what they want to do.
No, I'm telling you guys, I've seen it from my own eyes. Well, Fremore Jones. Fremore Jones? Well, if we get our hands on him, partner, I'm telling you, he won't be free no
See,
more.
what's all this bullshit you heap around, Norman? I got word some Fremore Jones. And I got word some of your kind have been running up on Negro bar mining gold.
Well, it don't seem quite that tough of you running up on 3 unarmed Mormons over someone mining up in Negro bar.
Motherfucker,
We
kick
happen
your
to be
chains.
that.
Yeah, what, motherfucker? Yeah.
That's how you wanna
Fremore
play? You'll see more of us.
What I won't do is see more of your bitch ass.
Mr. Jones, you just shot a priest.
You're lucky I don't kill kids.
Oh, no.
Bitch ass crackers. Let me roll me a smoke. Just lay your bitch ass there and die.
Mr. Fremore Jones, you better freeze. I'm the sheriff.
Will Fremore Jones make it to Ranchos Rio de los Americanos before the white boys catch him? Tune into our page this week to follow the adventures of Tally-ho. Tally-ho. Tally-ho.
Peace, thanks for the support. We out. Tally-ho.
Everywhere he goes. Tally-ho.
Sure not having your kind round these
Hey there,
parts.
white boy. You don't want this smoke. Tally-ho. Tally-ho. Whoa there, Tally. It's some crap.